So an unfortunate reality that we're living in is that banks break the law all the time. Sometimes it's not intentional, sometimes it is intentional. I was around in 2008 representing thousands and thousands of clients who were in foreclosure and in bankruptcy, and a lot of them had issues with the banks not following the law. We're entering into a phase with the coronavirus financial meltdown where a lot of banks are starting to not follow the law. I'm going to explain to you your options when a bank doesn't do what they're supposed to do and the things that you can do, including a secret weapon of last resort that all Americans have that they can use to save their home. My name is Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy, loan modification, and foreclosure lawyer here in Miami, Florida. I've helped thousands of people with this situation. I hope that my video helps you with your current situation. Please subscribe to my channel so I keep making these videos and I help you get through the coronavirus financial meltdown with your house and your sanity intact. During the recession of 2008 and afterwards, a lot of people lost their homes, not because they did anything wrong, but because the banks were not following the law. Many of the major banks paid hundreds of millions of dollars in fines and sanctions, and sometimes had to give hundreds of thousands of dollars of sanctions to homeowners when they illegally took their homes in foreclosure. We are entering a new phase in the coronavirus financial meltdown. The end of the forbearance in March of 2021 starts a time of major change and upheaval for people. A lot of homeowners who are relying on the banks to not make them pay back 12 months or more of back escrow, principal, and interest payments are going to have a big surprise because a lot of these banks may not follow the law or the law doesn't protect them. Now, I've talked a little bit about this in previous videos, the difference between the CARES Act and non-CARES Act mortgages. The CARES Act covers the VA, FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and USDA. If you have a loan with one of these entities, then your mortgage is covered by the CARES Act, and therefore you have some protection. The problem with the CARES Act is there's no enforcement mechanism. There's nothing in the law that gives anybody the right to sue, which is the no private cause of action, or to enforce the law against the banks. It's basically a voluntary law. Now, from what I understand, most of the banks are following the law and keeping people with their homes during the forbearance period. The problem is at the end of the forbearance is going to cause a lot of confusion. A lot of people are not going to know what to do. I am already seeing people who are being asked to pay back the entire year that they owe, or the period that they owe, over 12 months. Now, that might not necessarily mean they have the CARES Act. It could be that they have a private lender, which the private lenders are not covered by the CARES Act. The private lenders do not have to follow any specific rules of the CARES Act. The only thing they have to do is follow their contract with the homeowner. Whatever the private lender promised to do is what they have to do. That's it. So if they promise to give you a few months of forbearance, and now you're at the end of the forbearance, and they want all of their money because that's what you promised to pay them, then that's what you have to do. It's a very tricky situation. A lot of people are going to have a very bad surprise in a couple months. Now, what can you do to save yourself if you're in either one of these situations? Number one, anything that you do with a bank has to be in writing. Do not rely on any conversations that you have with an operator on the phone. These conversations, although they're recorded, they can never be found again for the most part, and they are not bound by anything that they say to you or that you say to them. In fact, actually, if you say certain things to them, that can actually hurt your case with the bank. But whatever they say to you basically kind of disappears in the air. So whatever they promised you, whatever they told you, you need to get that in writing. Make sure you get it in writing and follow up. When you get whatever it is that they told you, meaning that they were going to hold off on the forbearance, or they were going to put it at the end, whatever it is that they were asking you to do, make sure that you get it in writing and keep it. Do not discard these letters. These are very important. Some of these letters have very important legal effect. So keep everything that you get from the bank and create a file so that you might need it for the future. The second thing you have to understand is that if you have a CARES Act mortgage, there is an entity that's created specifically to deal with consumer issues, and this entity is what you would call if you had a consumer problem with the bank. It's a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The phone number is on the sheet here. This entity has no enforcement ability. However, you can file a report and you can bring things out into the open that you might not understand. The bank generally will respond to you if you file a report with this entity. It's a government entity. It's something that you need to have in your toolbox, and you should use it before you do anything else. The last thing we're going to talk about is a secret weapon. But this secret weapon is a secret weapon of last resort. A lot of people don't know this, but there is something that has existed in the law for hundreds of years that can help you when you're in a situation when you owe the bank a lot of money and you need time to pay them back. Now, this secret weapon is not something that's for everybody, and you can't use it all the time. However, a lot of people can use this weapon as a way to keep their homes when all else fails. And what I'm talking about is a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Now, before you turn off the YouTube, a lot of people don't want to hear about bankruptcy, but let me just explain what this is so you understand. And when you're dealing with the bank, you know that this is one of the things that you might be able to use to your favor. In a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you have the ability to pay back all the money that you owe them over 36 to 60 months. There's other things that you need to qualify for a Chapter 13. However, if you do, you might be able to pay back $60,000 in what's called arrears, which are back payments, over 60 months. That's $1,000 a month, or less amounts over 36 or 60 months. Now, this is a forced plan on the bank. The bank, unless you do things wrong or there's bad intention on your part, but if it's good intention on your part, the bank cannot deny this. This is not up to the bank. This is up to you and the judge and the trustee. When you propose a plan that says, I'm going to pay back $24,000 over 36 months or 60 months, unless you're lying about something, the bank has to accept it. If all else fails and you cannot pay back the arrears over the time period that the bank is telling you to do it, or if the bank is being extremely unreasonable with you, you can use this tool to save your home. I've helped a lot of people with a Chapter 13. It's called a cure and maintain plan. You need a lawyer to do this, even though you can file by yourself, but generally I would say you need a lawyer because it's very complicated. I'm sure there's a lawyer in your area that does Chapter 13s. Look them up, find out about them, give them a call and tell them your situation. You might be able to get something that you cannot get in any other way. Now, I hope that these videos have helped you with planning for your future and getting out of the coronavirus financial mess. My name is Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy, loan modification, and foreclosure lawyer here in Miami. I've helped thousands of people with all of these type of issues for many years, all through 2008 and beyond. This is what I do. I've helped a lot of people save their homes, and a lot of times you can't save the home because the money that they owe is too great, but many times you can. You need to stay informed, watch these videos or watch other videos, read about your options, and always be positive because you never know. Talk to lawyers, make sure that you get somebody who's reputable, and figure out your situation so that you might be able to keep your home. My name is Diego Mendez. My channel is called Debt Law. I do shows every Monday. Please subscribe and like my videos, and I'll keep making these videos for you and everybody who's in this situation. Thank you very much.